Hi guys, it's Anonymous, finally recording another Warcraft 3 English commentary. Um, this one's on a game between 000 from WNV and a Purple Human, sorry, this... Why isn't it set to a observer? I'm confused. Okay, anyway. And he's in Purple Human on the right, and Ted from World Elite is in Yellow Undead on the left. This is Echo Isles, by the way, in case you haven't figured that out already. And, I guess I can turn on the Fog of War. Okay. This is a game that was played in Race War, which was quite a while ago. I guess it was back in February, actually, so a very long time ago. Between two of my favorite players, and from their respective races, I think 000 is now my favorite human player, especially after watching one of the games. You know, I'm not even going to say it because it would... Yeah. You just have to watch the last game, well, not the last game. One of the games with 000, the one that is good. Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't helpful at all. Who was he against? He was against Sace. So, yeah, 000 versus Sace. Highly recommended watching. Anyway, I have a lot of respect for him after that game. This game was actually played before that, and 000 is going to Paladin First. So, and that's really why I selected this game. It's a Paladin First game. I have seen it before. I'm going to try and talk about strategy to some extent, and also to cast the action, because I know that some people like to hear me talk about strategy, even though I don't know as much about it as I should to talk about this. And some people like to hear the shoutcast, so I thought I'd try and do a happy medium, and especially because I don't have too much time these days to do commentaries. Sorry about that. I mean, it should be better in, like, next week, but this week was just unbelievably busy for me, and yeah, school. So, I apologize for the delay in getting this commentary out, but this is a good game, so it's definitely worth the wait. Anyway, 000's Paladin is out now, and he will be going to creep the Merc camp first, which is something of a risky move, but less so with the Paladin because obviously you can heal, and you're less likely to lose a unit, and also you can buy the Mercs, which he's doing. He bought a Shadow Priest, so that'll give him a lot of healing. It'll make it very difficult for... Well, not difficult for him to lose units. Sorry, that's not the right way to say it. It'll make it unlikely for him to lose units. Yeah, meanwhile, Ted has a Dark Ranger, and this is something of a strange choice, but from what I can see, the players have done it without... I mean, 000 has scouted Ted, but Ted has not scouted 000 at all. So he's totally unaware at this point of the Paladin. So he has, fortunately for him, he's put down his Ziggurats in a good place. I do not believe the Paladin can get through this little gap at the side here. So he will have a block on his Acolytes. For those of you who don't know, the purpose of Paladin First, well, it's a decent hero in combat. It sort of plays a similar role to the Death Knight for the Undead, except it doesn't increase your movement speed. But the real strength of the Paladin is its ability to go in and harass the Acolytes. And if there are no Ziggurats, if the Ziggurats are badly placed, it will just destroy the Undead player like nothing else. This is one of the most important things about fighting against Paladin First, is to place your Ziggurats well. And because you never know if you're going to have Paladin First against you, you must place your Ziggurats well anyway. And a tip to those who play on ladder, a lot of Undead players don't place their Ziggurats well. They don't, they don't expect Paladin First. They don't know any better, especially at the lower levels. I mean, obviously at higher levels, people know that there's going to be a Paladin sometimes, and you have to place your Ziggurats. But consider going Paladin First sometimes, just to try and exploit that, especially if you scout a poor Ziggurat placement with your militia, if you scout early, and 000 does like to scout early. Ted now creeping out the expansion. I don't think he's going to expand here. He has gotten some fairly nice items. He got a Claws of Attack +9. It's level 3. Meanwhile, 000 has also crept out his expansion. He is setting it up. He's sold... The drops he got, by the way, were Ring of Regen and Ring of Protection, which is terrible. So he just sold them, bought a boots. And now he's sending his small force of three footmen and a couple mercs to go harass. And his Paladin is level 3, which means that he can... If he hits an Acolyte once, then he can Holy Light it, and that's the critical level at which you can begin to harass. You can't harass very effectively at level 1. You will use too much mana on Holy Light on the Acolytes. So, the other thing about this particular harass is that because he's brought his footmen with him, they can fit through the cracks in the ziggurats and hit the Acolytes, even though the ziggurat placement is good. It just doesn't matter in this case because the placement of the ziggurats is not going to be close enough to keep the footmen out. There's just no way to do that. Meanwhile, Ted is sending a bunch of skeletons across to 000's base to harass the peasants. Unfortunately, for him, the town hall is already up. An arcane tower is going up, but he has a lot of skeletons. He will manage to kill a lot of peasants here. And one thing to notice is that Ted was forced to cancel his tech. So, because his acolytes were getting slaughtered, he had to cancel his tech, or else which he'd just begun. Because otherwise, he would not have been able to have any gold income. He would have lost the game. So, already we see that the Paladin First choice has paid off for 000. The one peasant left just gets killed there. And these few skeletons have been able to kill all the peasants. So, both harasses were equally effective in terms of number of units killed, pretty much. Except this is 000's expansion. He can afford to lose those peasants, whereas Ted really cannot afford to lose the peasants at his main, which is his only base. However, Ted does have 5 fiends and a troll berserker, and when you see that kind of army, the thing to think is defend, because especially when you're still tier 1, you just need to get defend to deal with that. It's going to be very hard to fight that off with like 2 paper weak mercs and 3 footmen, one of which is almost dead. Even with defend. Without defend, you're just going to get clobbered. Especially, look at all those skeletons. The skeletons are going in. I don't know why Ted sent the skeletons way back there and just let them die on the towers, but perhaps it was just a miscue. Anyway, both heroes are now level 4. Paladin has a bit of an advantage in this battle because of Divine Shield, and this is how you want to use Divine Shield. Just pop it on and chase the hero around. In battle, this is usually at this point in the game, this is usually the best way to use it in a combat. It only costs 25 mana, so it's not you don't have to worry about wasting it or anything. Just use it whenever it's cooled down, pretty much. And he goes straight for the hero. He chases it around. The hero can't stand still because it can't fight it in any way. So he just has to run his hero away. That prevents it from getting shots off. And however, Ted had a much bigger army. He had lots of skeletons built up from creeping the Murloc camps, which is a good strategy with the Dark Ranger, because they are the ones with the most creeps. They produce so many skeletons. So he's just able to overwhelm 000. 000 has to run his peasants out. For some reason, he sends them back again, and that means he's going to lose some more of them. I think he should have just kept sending them out. And when you lose peasants, it's very bad. You get skeletons raised against you. Now, 000 has, I believe, Divine Shield cooldown. There we go. And notice now that he's got his vault up, he's using Clarity Potions at the same time. When you get level 2 Divine Shield, a Clarity Potion lasts for the same duration as Divine Shield. So if you pop them at the same time, you will get the entire benefit of the Clarity unharassed, because you're invulnerable. No one can break the Clarity Potion. Dark Ranger levels to 5. Excuse me. Now it's pretty much just a Paladin, and it looks like 1 footman. There, excuse me, I have to sneeze. Paladin and 1 footman against this whole army, but the thing about Paladin, he uses his Potion of Healing. The thing about a Paladin is it has a lot of nuking power with those Clarities. It's very difficult to stop a Paladin just because of the Divine Shield, because it can use Clarities and have an infinite amount of mana right in the middle of battle. I mean, yes, Ted has a lot of units around. Yes, he's killing the buildings, but he's going to lose. All these 3 fiends are pretty much going to die to that Paladin before this all goes down, if he even manages to get it off at all. And now 000 coming back in. This time he has an army of mercs. And so, one thing to notice is that he's put up a second barracks, but instead of using that, he needed a quicker army, so he got mercs. And you have to be open to that possibility that you'll need a quicker army. Paladin levels up, and this is very lucky. He gets a light off on the Dark Ranger, level 3. And Ted did not expect that. He didn't react quickly enough to the level up. So, good luck for 000, and this is a